How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.
This is now becoming a concern, that they come too hard and they really make a mess almost of the ultra-aggressive template that has given them so much fame. What explains that innings, Puji?
Firstly, I was really surprised they chose to bat first. On a pitch where, when you're playing an afternoon game, you know that the pitch will be slightly on the slower side. That's
Yes.
when you normally prefer to bowl, and that's an ideal time to bowl, and that's not an ideal time to bat. And I thought they chose I thought they should have bowled first. But talking about their batting, I think they are trying to go too hard, and we did speak about being smart, and they were not smart enough today.
That's it. That's the word smart. I remember after the last Sunrisers game, somebody sent a question in the post-show base saying, do they have a plan B? I think that question is still worthy of being asked.
And those are experiences that I hope they will be learning about. Even Pat Cummins, who says keep going hard as they go through the season. I look at Klaassen's dismissal. They haven't mentioned it. They mentioned Manohar, but I think even Heinrich should know his power. And if he were to stay on and bat a little bit deeper, he will score at a huge tempo. So it's still early in the season, but they've got to start understanding that Aniket's going. We can spend some time there with him as deep as we bat and just soak it up just a little bit more.
There are so many players we can talk of. You spoke of Klaassen. He's got the 50 over the game. He got unfortunately run out. And if Klaassen stays with Aniket, or if Cummins stays with Aniket, somebody stays with Aniket, they still have a chance. It's not happening.
Yeah, they've obviously been bowled out with 8 balls to go, and that's even having activated the impact sub in a way that, based on how they used Mulder as a number 9 in the end, suggests that maybe that wasn't their first choice. That probably wasn't the plan. You'd suggest maybe Zampa was plan A, whereas they've gone with the all-rounder instead. I suppose just to briefly play devil's advocate, maybe, I suppose the flip side of it is that if Sunrise is at 37 for 4, once the aggression's gone wrong up top, if they do just consolidate, they may have only limped to 150 for 7, 150 for 8, rather than getting 163. Given would a batter with so little T20 experience like Aniket Verma be able to come into a side and play so fearlessly without that messaging from the top, I suppose, is the question. Clearly there were a couple of, clearly there is a balance. Clearly a couple of shots, Abhinav coming in and picking out long off was probably not the call at the time. But just to play devil's advocate with what these two have said,
I like that you're here.
Maybe you can say, is it having your cake and eating it to say you need to not only play fearlessly and score really quickly, but also
put an end to it now. I got your point. And when you said devil's advocate twice, the devil you speak of is the analyst, not the Sunrisers. The analyst.
I think he's saying, Matt is saying consolidate, and we were clear with the point before the innings started that it's not to consolidate for 5 or 6 overs, but it's just maybe to manage for about 3, 4, 5 balls, maybe even an over. We're not talking consolidation for a long period.
I can see why he's bringing that up, because it's so simple to then say one bat after the next. Take it easy, don't throw it away because Aniket's looking good, which would be the traditional, if I can call that term now, traditional way of how to play it. But Matt's saying that is just not how, today it's not come off, it's fine. Last game it didn't come off fine, it'll come off the next game. That's how they'll win.
But do you think, what is your success then? If you are just winning 10 out of 2, I mean, then it doesn't make sense. You need to win more number of games. You need to show that consistency again and again. And what happens, because last season we saw that they played brilliantly throughout the league phase, but what if one game goes wrong for you in the knockouts? Then you are not able to have a plan B.
It's not that straightforward, because then someone would have done it. Pat Cummins' last game came out and hit 18 of 3. Today he went for something similar. It didn't matter to him that there was still 4 overs or 5 overs left in the shed, or Aniket was going at the other end. And Cummins is doing what he's pretty much telling everyone else needs to be done in the team.
Yeah, and you do see that from captains quite often. To think of it, from an English lens, that was something that Owen Morgan would do early in his tenure as England's white ball captain, was play ultra aggressive cricket and always fall on that side, just to sort of ram the point home to his players. I'm doing it, therefore you are allowed to do this as well. I think Pujara is right though to isolate that Nitish Kumar Reddy dismissal as probably being the one that stood out to me as clearly not a percentage option. Pujara identified before we started the fact that Delhi's seamers was sort of Stark, and then you had the opportunity to maybe take down Mukesh and Mohit. But as it happens, Stark has come out of this game with his first ever fifer and also with 3 wickets in the power play, which makes such a big difference. And it was, I suppose, that element of almost not using the fact that the field was up, because that does mean that you can play straight, you can play more orthodox shots, but pick gaps and time the ball.